It was 5 a.m. My alarm screamed like it was trying to summon the dead. I opened one eye and immediately asked myself, who hurt me? Why am I doing this? Am I joining a cult? Nope. Just trying to level up, like every productivity guru with a podcast and a $40 planner said I should. They told me waking up early would change my life. And oh, it did. Just not in the way I expected. Spoiler, I now measure my success in coffee cups, and I may or may not have started hallucinating around day 3. So grab your beverage of choice because this week-long experiment was part glow-up, part breakdown, and fully questionable. Let me give you a sneak peek into what my mornings looked like before this whole 5 a.m. nonsense. I'd wake up at 11 a.m., on a good day, scroll through my phone like I was being paid to absorb useless information, then drag myself out of bed with all the enthusiasm of a soggy sock. My first meal of the day was usually something like cereal from a coffee mug or leftover fries I found in the fridge. And I'd proudly call that breakfast, because technically I was breaking a fast, right? My phone had 5 alarms. I slept through all of them, every single time. I'd hit snooze like I was defusing a bomb, but with none of the urgency. People say they have time blindness. I had something worse, just one more video-itis. You ever open TikTok at 10 p.m. and suddenly it's 2 a.m. and you're learning about wombat mating rituals for no reason? Yeah, that was me. And it wasn't like I hated mornings. I just had absolutely zero strategy, no structure, and my only real goal was surviving until I could justify a nap. But then I stumbled across this video, probably while avoiding real responsibilities, where some guy with perfect hair said, "Waking up at 5 a.m. changed my life." And I thought, you know what? If he can do it, maybe I can too. So I made a decision. A terrible, highly questionable, over-caffeinated decision. I set alarms labeled, "Get your life together," "Don't embarrass yourself," and "Tim Cook is already at work." And I committed to waking up at 5 a.m. for an entire week. Did I have a plan? No. Did I think this through? Also no. But I had vibes, energy drinks, and a strong desire to not feel like a useless potato by noon. That was enough. I think. Day 1, the betrayal. The alarm went off at 5 a.m. It didn't beep, it screamed. Like it was mad I had dreams. I opened one eye and thought, nope, absolutely not. This has to be a prank. But no. I did this to myself. Voluntarily. I sat up like a zombie with joint pain and stared at the wall, questioning every life decision that led me to this moment. I was cold, tired, and 90% convinced I was entering a cult initiation. I dragged myself to the bathroom, looked in the mirror, and saw what can only be described as a raccoon that just went through a breakup. And still, I stayed awake. Mostly. Mentally I was horizontal. Physically I was just walking in circles with a mug of hot water pretending it was coffee. That was day 1. Welcome to the experiment. Day 2, the caffeine era begins. You'd think it gets easier after the first day. You'd be wrong. I woke up feeling like someone had unplugged me in the middle of a software update. I stood up too fast and saw colors. So I made coffee. And by made, I poured espresso concentrate into a mug like it was an emergency 4-drip. Within 5 minutes, my heartbeat was doing the Macarena. I tried to be productive. Sat at my desk, opened my journal and wrote the words, "I am awake." That was the entire entry. Then I stared at the wall for 20 minutes. The rest of the morning was a blur. I think I checked my emails, but I also may have hallucinated an extra weekday. Either way, coffee was the main character. I was just an underpaid intern in my own body. Day 3, crisis of purpose. At 5:04 a.m. I sat in the dark holding a mug of coffee like it was a life coach. I stared out the window and whispered to no one, why? Just, why? No context. No direction. Just vibes and caffeine-induced existentialism. They say early mornings give you clarity. All I got was confusion and a sudden urge to Google, what is the point of anything? I tried meditating. Huge mistake. All I could hear was my own breathing and suddenly I was hyper-aware that one nostril was working harder than the other. How do monks do this? By 7 a.m. I had experienced a minor identity crisis, 2 cups of coffee, and the realization that Tim Ferriss might actually be a robot. Day 4, mini breakthrough. Miraculously, I woke up on time without needing to negotiate with my alarm like it was a hostage situation. Progress. I made my bed. I did a 5-minute workout. I even drank water before coffee. I don't know who I became overnight, but I low-key wanted to punch them. Then it happened. Actual productivity. I knocked out a task I'd been procrastinating on for a week. Dopamine hit me like a YouTube motivational edit. I felt powerful, focused, unstoppable. And then I crashed at 3 p.m. like a toddler after too much screen time. Nap was unplanned. Regret was real. Day 5. Regression. So it's day 5. I woke up late. I swear my alarm has this vendetta against me, like it's personally offended by my existence. When I finally opened my eyes and saw the time, 8:47 a.m., I felt a wave of panic wash over me. All those wake up early, conquer the world memes? They did not prepare me for this moment. For a solid 30 seconds I thought about pretending I didn't care. I could just skip the whole 5 a.m. thing and go back to my old ways. But then reality hit. I still had to work. And if I'm being honest, I had at least 3 tasks I'd been avoiding for a week. So what did I do? I made coffee. Obviously. Now here's where it gets interesting. The guilt kicked in. I really thought I was going to be the 5 a.m. guru who wakes up, runs a marathon, writes a book, and still has time for a green smoothie by 7 a.m. Spoiler alert. That's not how any of this went down. Instead, I got up, sort of got to work, and spent the rest of the day in a state of, well, I tried. It's funny though. I realized that it's okay to have setbacks. It's actually more relatable than pretending to be some perfect morning person. So instead of wallowing, I drank more coffee and moved on. Because honestly, nobody's perfect. Not even The Rock. He probably hit snooze a few times too. Day 6. The mindset flip. By day 6 I started to feel different. Not a lot different. But like the bare minimum is different. I wasn't waking up at 5 a.m. with a smile, doing jumping jacks in the morning sun like I was some self-help book cover model. But I was awake. And I was somewhat functional. The game changer here wasn't waking up at the crack of dawn with all my life sorted out. Nope. It was lowering my expectations. I realized I didn't need to be perfect. All I had to do was focus on doing something. Anything. I didn't have a perfect morning routine where I meditated, exercised, and wrote my novel all before breakfast. But you know what I did? I got out of bed. I did some stretching, drank some water, the basics. It wasn't dramatic. But it felt good. I felt like I was taking small steps toward not being a walking zombie every morning. I think that was the moment everything clicked. Maybe it's not about transforming into a 5 a.m. superhuman. Maybe it's about doing something productive and just making progress. So by the end of day 6 I still needed coffee to survive. But now it wasn't about forcing myself to be perfect. It was about staying consistent and cutting myself some slack. Also, I still had coffee. That was the one non-negotiable. Day 7. Am I a morning person now? And then it was day 7. The final day. I woke up at 5 a.m. And it felt like waking up at 5 a.m. Not magical. Not life-changing. Just another day of trying to not be a walking coffee mug. But I was feeling different. Maybe because I had made it 7 days without completely losing my mind. That's progress, right? Right. I've been waking up early all week, drinking my body weight in coffee and doing something productive. And that something usually involved sitting at my desk, staring into space while I tried to figure out why I was pretending to be a 5 a.m. person in the first place. But then something unexpected happened. I actually enjoyed the morning. I wasn't excited about it, but I was less annoyed. That's a win, right? I took my time. Sipped my coffee, looked out the window, pretended I had it all together. For about 30 seconds. Then I spilled coffee on myself. So I guess I can say this. Maybe I'm not a morning person. But I've learned to appreciate mornings more. Even if it's just because they come with coffee. And let's be real, that's a win in my book. So here's the thing. I thought waking up at 5 a.m. meant I was disciplined. I thought it was going to magically make me productive, focused, and somehow better than everyone else who enjoys sleeping until noon. But as it turns out, discipline isn't about waking up early. It's about doing what matters consistently, not perfectly. And that's the real lesson I took away from this week. It's not about the early mornings. It's not about being a perfect robot who follows some rise and grind schedule. It's about being consistent with the things that matter, even if it's not all happening by 5 a.m. Also, you don't have to wake up at the crack of dawn to be productive. You just need to wake up, Before noon, hopefully. But honestly, I'll take what I can get. And let's be real. Coffee is a miracle and also a threat to my bank account. But that's a different conversation for another day. Alright, here's your challenge. Try waking up just 1 hour earlier than usual for the next 3 days. But don't go for 5 a.m. Let's be real, I'm not a masochist. Just set your alarm for 7 a.m. and see if anything changes. Do you feel more productive? Or will you just question your life choices like I did every day? Either way, let me know how it goes in the comments. Was it a game changer, or did you just end up binge watching Netflix at 7 a.m. instead of conquering the world? Honestly, both options are valid. And if you're still here, I know you want more of these slightly questionable experiments. So hit that subscribe button so I can keep testing stuff for you, because why should you suffer alone? I'll take the bullet. Literally. I tried waking up at 5 a.m. for you after all. Next up, get ready for the ultimate self-improvement disaster. I tried living like a Navy SEAL for 3 days. Spoiler alert, I cried. A lot. So buckle up for that one. Until then, stay caffeinated, keep it real, and remember, waking up early is overrated. You can still get stuff done while being a responsible adult who occasionally enjoys sleep. Peace out, Upgrade RHQ fam.